Welcome back to this week's edition of the Risk Spotlight Operational Risk News Update. My name is Emily Jones, and today I'll be bringing you essential updates and insights from the world of operational risk, drawn from the past week. All information shared here is sourced from the RiskSpotlight Portal, the premier forward-looking service dedicated to operational risk content. Let's get started. The first update is about a new privacy threat called phishing subpoenas. These fraudulent legal documents are being used by cybercriminals to trick companies into handing over sensitive data. According to a report by Proofpoint, a cybersecurity firm, there's been a significant increase in these attacks, with a 1,850% rise observed from June to July 2022. The scammers are impersonating law enforcement agencies, lawyers, and even government bodies to make their fake subpoenas look legitimate. They're targeting various industries, including education, energy, and healthcare, often focusing on HR departments to get employee information. What's really concerning is how sophisticated these attacks have become. The cybercriminals are using AI to create convincing legal documents and even setting up fake law firm websites to back up their claims. They're also exploiting the pressure that comes with legal deadlines to push victims into quick action. Proofpoint's report highlights that these attacks are particularly effective because they play on people's natural inclination to comply with legal requests. The cybersecurity firm is urging organizations to be more vigilant and to implement stricter verification processes for subpoenas and other legal documents to protect themselves against this growing threat. The next update is about a new guide from the National Security Agency, NSA, to combat living off the land, LOTL, attacks. In collaboration with the Australian Signals Directorate and the UK's National Cybersecurity Centre, the NSA released a guide titled Best Practices for Event Logging and Threat Detection. Aimed at IT decision-makers, network administrators, and critical infrastructure providers, the guide addresses advanced persistent threats using LOTL techniques to evade detection. It outlines 4 logging best practices: creating a logging policy, centralizing log access, securing log storage, and developing a threat detection strategy. The guide stresses using behavioral analytics to detect LOTL methods and includes a case study on Volt Typhoon, a Chinese threat group. The NSA advises organizations to adopt user and entity behavioral analytics for automated detection of network, device, or account anomalies, which is vital for protecting critical systems and data. The next update is about the rise of coffee badging in workplaces, where employees briefly appear at the office to meet return-to-office mandates before leaving. As in-office requirements increase, this trend has emerged. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that 11% of U.S. workers worked entirely from home in June 2024, with another 12% working partially at home. A survey shows 60% of employees with remote-capable jobs prefer hybrid work, while less than 10% want to be on-site full-time. To address coffee badging, some employers monitor security badge data to track attendance, potentially influencing performance reviews or policy changes. This monitoring is generally legal under U.S. laws. Employers are encouraged to review policies on hybrid work, attendance, and discipline, and to clearly communicate expectations during hiring and onboarding. The next update is about the rising threat of SaaS breaches in companies. According to AppOmni's State of SaaS Security 2024 report, a third of organizations suffered a SaaS data breach this year, which is a 5% increase from last year. The survey, conducted across 6 countries, including the US, UK, France, Germany, Japan, and Australia, revealed that nearly half of the corporate victims have more than 2,500 employees. The report highlights several security challenges, including decentralization, inconsistent enforcement, and lack of clear responsibilities. Alarmingly, only 15% of organizations have security teams managing SaaS, despite the fact that SaaS apps have become prime targets for cybercriminals. The situation is further complicated by the rise of generative AI, with 38% of respondents expressing concern about data and intellectual property risks related to Gen AI. While 90% of organizations have policies allowing only sanctioned apps, 34% admit these policies are not enforced. Confidence in SaaS security is declining, with only 32% of respondents feeling confident about the security of their companies' or customers' data stored in SaaS apps, down from 42% last year. However, there's a glimmer of hope as 69% of respondents anticipate increased cybersecurity spending in the next 12 months. The cloud application services market generated more than $232 billion in end-user spending in 2024, making it the largest segment in global public cloud services spending. The next update is about the mpox outbreak. No new cases were reported in any new country last week. 18 countries have reported mpox cases so far. The UNICEF has issued an emergency tender to secure mpox vaccines for crisis-hit countries. The UAE also dispatched several aircraft carrying mpox vaccines to 5 African countries. Now let me provide a quick update on key operational risk loss events that were reported in the media last week. There was an update to the major antitrust class action against Visa, MasterCard, and over 25 banks. The deadline for filing claims in this massive $5.54 billion settlement has been extended to February 4th, 2025. This extension gives merchants who accepted Visa or MasterCard payments in the U.S. between January 1st, 2004 and January 25th, 2019, more time to file for compensation due to overpaid credit or debit card transaction fees. It's one of the largest class action settlements in history. The court has extended the deadline twice now, but further extensions are unlikely. The next update is about Woori Financial Group's response to recent scandals and investigations. Woori Financial Chairman Yim Jong-yong has apologized for unethical lending practices involving former Chairman Son Tae-sung's relatives. The loans in question totaled 35 billion won, or about $26 million, with 30.4 billion won still outstanding as of July. Yim has pledged full compliance with sanctions from financial supervisory authorities and promised a thorough review of lending practices. He's also committed to establishing a new corporate culture of integrity and cooperating fully with investigations. The next update is about the CFTC fining Nasdaq Futures Inc. $22 million for regulatory breaches related to its incentive programs. From 2015 to 2018, Nasdaq Futures operated as a designated contract market for energy futures contracts and implemented a market maker program. However, they failed to disclose a volume-based component that affected payments to certain participants, violating the Commodity Exchange Act and CFTC regulations. The company also provided false information when questioned about this component. Additionally, Nasdaq Futures ignored recommendations from its regulatory service provider and failed to document these decisions, further contributing to the penalty. The next update is about a significant fine imposed on Nordea Bank by New York's Department of Financial Services. The Helsinki-based bank has agreed to pay $35 million to settle an investigation into major anti-money laundering and Bank Secrecy Act compliance failures. These issues were linked to the 2016 Panama Papers leak and involved billions of dollars in high-risk transactions between 2008 and 2019. The last update is about a shocking case of cryptocurrency fraud involving a former bank CEO. Sean Haynes, the 53-year-old ex-CEO of Heartland Tri-State Bank in Kansas, has been sentenced to over 24 years in federal prison for embezzling a staggering $47.1 million. Between May and July 2023, Haynes made 11 unauthorized wire transfers, sending the bank's funds to a cryptocurrency wallet as part of a pig butchering scheme. This massive fraud led to the collapse of the bank, with the FDIC absorbing the loss and investors taking a $9 million hit. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of last week's operational risk landscape. If you want to read more about the topics I have covered and review additional content on emerging operational risk topics, then please log into the RiskSpotlight Portal if you are a subscriber, or go to riskspotlight.com to sign up for a free trial. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe and keep those risks in check.